All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Ruel. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect, the Bayat, Dawadah, the house of David. All right, let's go into some scriptures real quick. Right, so this is Psalm 2 and verse number 1, which I got it in the KJV and in the NLT. So we're going to read it in both. It says, why do the heathen rage? Starting KJV first. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord Yahweh and against his anointed, which is Yahweh Shai, saying, let us break their bands, right, asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh, and the Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath, and vex them in his sore displeasure. Right, so let's read it over in the NLT. It says, why are the nations so angry? Why do they waste their time with futile plans? Right, which we know their futile plans is what? A new world order set up by AI, robotics, right? Technology, a digital technocratical, totalitarian, authoritarian government. Okay? Due to what? The technocrats. Okay? It says, right, really the super elite banking families, right, who want to track, trace, and control everything, right, under a RFID microchip, right, a BCI, brain computer interface, which is the MOTB, right? It says the kings of the earth prepare for battle. The rulers plot together against the Lord Yahweh and against his anointed one, Yahweh Shai, right? Let us break their chains, they cry, and free ourselves from slavery to God, okay? It says, but the one who rules in heaven laughs. The Lord Yahweh scoffs at them. Then in anger, he rebukes them with terrifying them with his furious fury. Okay, so let's go here in the Psalms, right? Psalm the 10th chapter. All right, Psalm the 10th chapter. Okay, and the third, and we're going to read it in the KJV and in the NLT. Right, so it says over in the 10th chapter, right, in the third verse, it says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and he blesseth the covenants whom the Lord abhorreth, right? Over in the NLT, it says, for they brag about their evil desires, right? And I just explained about their evil desires. Look on the back of your $1 bill. You'll find out their evil plan and the things that they want to do, right? See how they want to put everybody into it. This is why all the jobs in the AI, all AI, this is why they say AI is going to take over everything, right? You're going to be under what you call a universal basic income, CBDC, central bank digital currencies, and so on and so forth, right? IOB, Internet of Body, IoT, Internet of Things, IOE, Internet of Everything, right? Where you become the UPC, track, trace, and control. Okay? All right? Under a one world government. You see? Where it's all controlled. Everything will be monitored, watched, and that's how they look at it. Okay? All right? Okay? So now, for we're not ignorant of the Satan's devices. You see? Let's get this here. Let's get this back in the regular KJV. Right? So let's go to 2 Corinthians. Right? 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. It says, least Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. Right? We're not ignorant to this man's devices. We're not ignorant to this man's plans and what he has and the things that he has ready to go. You see? All right, so let me get Habakkuk, right? The second chapter, right? In the third verse, it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And that's right. This thing is not tarrying. It's going to come. And it's coming fast, man. It's just a matter of time before they say, you know what? We're going to do away with all the cash. We're going to do away with the coins. We're going to take away. See, they're doing all these things gradually. You see? So people don't bug out of their mind right away off the bat. But eventually they're going to say, you know what? To hell with it. We're going to push off this RFID microchip whether people like it or not. You see? And as we know, the technology is already there. It's just a matter of time before they plug it in and say, you know what? Everybody got to take this RFID microchip to stay a part of this system. And if you don't, you will be expurgated out of the system, right? Or you will be ultimately physically killed or killed off, meaning expurgated out of the system, right? They showed you that in the movie, what is that movie? Demolition Man, right? Where the people that were underground, meaning they didn't accept the New World Order that was on top, right? Which were, you had Wesley Snipes, right, who played Simon Phoenix, and you had John Spartan, who was played by this guy, not Arnold. What's his name? Damn, man, I forgot his name. All right, it'll come back to me. All right, it'll come back to me. Anyway, right? But it says, this is where it says, "Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him." You see, and this man's spirit is not upright in him. Okay, but the just shall live by faith. The just is the righteous, and they're gonna live by their faith, man. Right? So we're gonna put our faith and power in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You see? Okay. Verse 5, it says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, right? Meaning his philosophies, right? Because this man is going to sell it off as deceit. This is what he's going to sell his whole plot, and the whole plot of his futile plans is to sell it off by deception. All right? He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, right? And is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Okay. All right. So let me get this over here. Right. Let me see. We want to go Revelation. Right. Revelation 13. Right. Revelation 13. And let's go right down to the. Right, let's start at the 11th verse, right? We're going to work our way down. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon, right? Because the dragon is draconian, meaning draconian measures. And that's what's going to happen. Draconian measures are coming to this place. You see, they're writing in the legislation, right? They're taking away what you call the amendments, so-called the amendments, which were not the amendments set up for the Israelites, but the amendments set up for the so-called white people, for the Edomites. You see, but as it is to it that everybody is a part of the amendments, right? Which the amendment states that the so-called Negro is 2/5 of a man. But anyway, that's besides the point. See, right? What they're getting ready to do is bring in this whole new legislative laws, right? You see, spake as a lamb, right? Because a lamb is humble, you know what I'm saying? But a dragon is a dragon comes with fierceness. He comes with he comes with all types of how can I explain evilness. You see, and he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Right? That's the Roman Empire, revitalized Roman Empire, right? The ancient pagan Roman Empire, which was revitalized, coming back again today with their whole measures of draconian laws, right? You see? But even worse in this time that you're living in. It's going to be worse, man, right? Because it's a digital technocratical system or a society, right? It says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles. Right, by the means of what they talking about. You got You got this guy, Elon Musk, talking about he going to make the blind be able to see, right? Through the BCI, brain computer interface, right? You got synchronized. You got all of these other BCIs and other forms of what you call microchipping, right? Set up as falsified miracles. And we're revealing this man unto you. You see, because he has all counterfeit power. Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And we know who he is. It's the Edomites, starting with the super elite banking families, right? The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Oppenheimers, the DuPonts, the Gettys, the Wahlbergs, the Bilderbergs, right? The Mancinis, right? And so on and so forth, all right? It says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, right? Because NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, right? The whore that rideth upon the beast is Babylon the Great, a.k.a. America. Okay? You see? Okay? It says, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had a wound by the sword and did live, right? Which had a wound by the sword and did live, the revitalized Roman Empire. And that's what they came back. The word Renaissance means rebirth, all right? They have been reborn back, right? It has come back to finish off the last prophecies according to the Bible. You see, that fourth beast that was set up in the book of Daniel, the 2nd chapter, right? And then you can also go into the 7th chapter. You see? All right? So it says, and calls that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? Which was not worship the image of the beast should be killed. This is nothing but an idol. The mere image is the system of the beast. All right? The idol is the RFID microchip and the BCI. Okay? It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, the charagma, right? Which you can go back to the word, you can go back and look and go into the word charax, which is the palisade or the stake that's going to be stuck under the skin, the etching or the etching or the incision under the skin to put that chip deep underneath your skin, man, right? You see, which by 6G, right? 6G, which is high frequencies of radiation, right, will be plussed off of that chip, right? You see, that's going to power off that chip, which is going to cause grievous sores, right? And upon your forehead, it's going to cause grievous sores within your head. You're going to have pus popping out of your hands and your head, man. You see, when you start understanding these things, man. Right? Because everything you deal with, money you deal with today is nothing but everything is transactional, buying and selling. Okay? See, the Lord got me harping on this thing for a reason, man. Right? AI technocratical world, right? Which they got robots, drones, and so on and so forth, right? To govern this thing. Smart cities, 15-minute smart cities. I haven't talked about that in a while. Smart meaning surveillance, monitoring, analysis, reporting, and tracking. Right? And how you retract in your own 15-minute radius. See, they would have cutoff markers, right? Where you'll have what carbon footprint. You see, social credit scores, right? All these things will be put in place just to keep track, trace, and control upon you. Okay? To cut you off, turn your chip off, and so on and so forth, man. Right? Now, as I spoke about, the red list, the blue list, and the yellow list, or the yellow list are for those that pretty much say, you know what, well, we'll be a slave to the system. The red and the blue are those who are going to be instantaneously put to death via guillotine, via torture rooms, via whatever they may have set up. All right? Firing squads, whatever they may have set up. Okay? In these concentration camps, man. All right? And because that's what they have, man. You see? And they definitely going to come after the men of the Lord. They've done it in the ancient days, and they're going to do it now. In these times. You see? This is why we speak about Romans, the 12th chapter, in the first verse. Right? I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of our Lord, that we make our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, for it is our reasonable service. That's just roughly paraphrased. You see? So let me get this here. It says, let's finish this off here. It says, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, saith he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, right? 666. Okay. All right. That's the number of the beast, which is a number of imperfection, by the way, right? Or the number. It says the number of his name, like I just explained, 666, right? It says, here is wisdom. Let him that haveth understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And the number of and we know who the man is. It's Esau, Edom. All right. We know about the World Economic Forum, right? We know about the IMF. You see, we know all about these things, man. We know all about their plans that they set up with Davos 2026 and all the numerous meetings of high summit meetings, right? Which is the highest peak. We know about all these things, what they talk about, right? About a new world order. You see, the Bohemian Grove, where all rituals and all these things are taking place. All right? Baal and Balaam and all these things like that, what they worship down to and sacrifice little children and things of that nature, man. You see? We know all about these things. Okay? All right? We're not ignorant to this man's devices. We're not ignorant to this man's plans and with these things that he has coming. But see, little do he know is that Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, right? As soon as he sit down to think he's going to be able to eat and fill his belly up, Yahweh Shai, and the angels are going to tear this motherfucker up. Excuse my French, but I got to just put it plainly like that. All right? Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is going to bum rush this thing. You see? And that's why we measure the time diligently in itself. You see? 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. Okay? You understand? You see, so we're not ignorant to Satan's devices, man. We're not ignorant to this man's plans and the things that he got coming, right? Martial law, Gorga troops, right? All these different flock cameras. And I did numerous videos on flock cameras, surveillance systems, and things of that nature. TIA, Total Information Awareness Program. All right? You see, the Patriots Act 1, the Patriots Act 2. We're not ignorant to none of those things, man. We know what's going on, man. You see? The minute of the law, we have the eye solve to see right through this man's futile plans. All right, and expose this man as a devil. Let me get 2nd Thessalonians, and I'll play this video and we'll close. Right, let me get 2nd Thessalonians. We're gonna go right to the point. Verse number 9. All right, matter of fact, we'll start at verse number 8. It says, and then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. That's the prophets. And shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. That's physical, when Yahweh Shai make his return with the heavenly host, the angels. All right? Revelation 1 and 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. You see? And those clouds are talking about chariots. Those are the traveling vehicles that the angels are going to be in, and the Lord Yahweh Shai. Right? It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. And that's counterfeit power. Let's read it over in the NLT. Right? In the NLT. You see? It says, this man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles. Now, let's read it over in the AMP. All right? Let's see what the AMP says real quick. All right, it says the coming of the Antichrist. It says, right, which is, there's many Antichrists, right? It says the lawless one is through the activity of Satan, attended with great power, all kinds of counterfeit miracles and deceptive signs and false wonders, all of them lies. And that's what's going to push up with that shit. All lies. That's what's coming in with these AI robotics. All lies to take over your jobs and everything of that nature. You under a universal basic income. All these things of that nature, man. All right, so without further ado, let's go and play this video. If we're still up here. Matter of fact, let's go and read this here real quick. Right, so this is quality education. Right, so let's start there. This is the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. Okay, 17 Sustainable Development Goals Agenda, United Nations 2030 Agenda. Right? It says ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and long life learning. Dumb down education to indoctrinate, upskilling and reskilling for new life, long learning, gig economy as AI and robotics will replace many jobs. And I bring this out on a numerous basis, man. These right here. Okay? All right? So let's go over here, right? Let's read number 8. You see, matter of fact, let's read number 7, though. We'll read all of them. It says, ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy. And that's what's going on, where they got this energy crisis and everything like that. All these things are going, well, you can be able to read, they're going to tell you eventually where it's going to come down to what, a CB19, where they're telling you, oh, you're going to be able to use this much energy, take a shower, and all these things of that nature. Right? See, we're not ignorant to what this man is doing here, man. You see? Okay? It says monitor all energy systems in homes and cooperate in corporate buildings in real time. Cities and towns to institute blackouts to save on energy. 8. Decent work and economic growth. Promote sustainable economic growth, productive employment, and decent work. Replace workers with robotics and AI. And that's what all these big companies are doing, like Oracle, Meta, and all these other companies, and all these other lower class jobs. They're getting rid of people too, and they're replacing it with what? AI, robotics. You see? It says replace workers with robotics, AI, and connect workers to headsets, as metaverse will be the future of work. Industry, innovation, and infrastructure. It says build resilient, right? Resilient infrastructure, right? Promote industrialization and innovation. Use robotics and AI to fully automate infrastructural projects and innovation, making people useless in the industries. Okay. All right, so let's go over here. Let's read this last one, these last two. Right? Peace, justice, and strong institutions. It says promote peaceful societies and inclusive institutions for sustainable development. Only those with the RFID microchip, which we always speak about. Because we're living in that time, man. These things are happening. These things are about to go down, man. And I've been having numerous dreams on it, man. Numerous dreams. I can't remember all my dreams fully, but I've been seeing it, numerous dreams, man. You know, to at night where I wake up in sweats, man. I wake up, my whole shirt is just sweaty, man. You see? It says only those with the RFID chip and a digital ID passport with biometrics, bio meaning the study of life, meaning the study of the body, metrics meaning the length of the study of the body, right? Data on a blockchain, right, which everything is going to be connected to that blockchain, right? You'll have little portals of things put into the blockchain. So you'll make this blockchain, right? And you'll be all things, your transactional trackings and your medical history, your criminal history, and so on and so forth, man. Okay, everything will be logged in. All right, it says data, right? That's why they got these data centers set up, right? Henceforth, why you got this out of control weather. Henceforth, why they're trying to block out the sun to keep them cool, keep them data centers cool, right? Sucking up rain, right? And so on and so forth, man. Using what? The heart program a lot of times is devil be using, man. You see? All right? We're not ignorant to this man's devices, man. It says and can be part of a peaceful society. Social credits will be used to get the population to obey the NWO, New World Order, and punish unwanted behavior. Those who do not comply will be imprisoned or have all benefits on a blockchain turned off, because that's where it's going to be connected to. You see? With the RFID microchip ran through what? 6G network, 6G towers, and so on and so forth, man. High frequencies of radiation, faster speeds, okay? 17, partnership for the goals. It says what we are told, strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize global partnership for sustainability in order to implement all 17 SDGs, right? Sustainable Development Goals, and maintain global partnerships for the goals. A number of key technologies need to be further pushed on society, such as the CBDC, central bank digital currencies, blockchain technology, which is a part of that, right? Which is how you would get, paid through that chip, right? Through the chip, which is the CBDCs, the central bank digital currencies, is how you would get paid off of. It would become a universal basic income. Okay, CRISPR gene editing. That's pretty much what you'll call like being a damn cyborg, man. All right, changing your genes and things of that nature, man. Okay, CRISPR gene editing, right? Transhumanism, AI monitoring, right? AI monitoring through cameras, right? You see, the AI would know all things, right? As he speaks, as your phones have it connected, right? Everything is connected with AI. AI monitoring, sensors, AI and biometric facial recognition cameras, right? Facial recognition camera, where those cameras, like you go into a stadium, a football stadium, a basketball stadium, they're reading your face recognition as soon as you walk in there, right? You go into any store around the place that has you, they're reading your facial recognition. You see? It says 5G, 6G, smart cities, right? Which I explained the smart cities, right? It says RFID chip, IoT, Internet of Things, IOB, Internet of Body, robotics, etc., to fully control the world. All right, so without further ado, let's go and let's play this video if they still have it up for me. Right, they do. It says Oracle cuts 20,000 jobs as AI reshapes the future of big tech. Okay, now let's listen in.
Well, Oracle's recent decision to cut more than 20,000 jobs across the globe is part of a broader pattern which is emerging across the tech industry. Companies leading the artificial intel race are simultaneously accelerating workforce reductions. The layoffs come at a time when firms are pouring billions into AI infrastructure, cloud computing, and automation as businesses reallocate capital towards building and deploying AI systems. Traditional roles are increasingly being phased out. The shift is not limited to Oracle. Across the US, major corporations have announced tens of thousands of job cuts or buyouts in a short span. What stands out is a changing profile of those affected. Unlike earlier waves of layoffs that primarily hit entry-level or support roles, recent cuts are increasingly impacting experienced, higher-paid employees. These roles often sit in layers of management or specialized functions that AI tools are beginning to replicate or even streamline. From coding assistance to data analysis and enterprise operations, AI is reducing the need for large teams while boosting output overall. At the same time, companies argue that these cuts are part of a strategic reset than pure cost cutting. Resources saved from layoffs are being redirected towards hiring in AI-focused areas such as machine learning, data engineering, advanced cloud services, which creates eventually a paradox. Overall headcount may shrink even as demand rises for a narrower set of highly specialized skills. The result is a fundamental reshaping of the workforce. As AI adoption accelerates, companies are becoming leaner and more tech-driven, which prioritizes efficiency over scale. For workers, this signals a rapidly evolving job market where adaptability and AI-related expertise are becoming essential for long-term relevance.
All right, so there you have it right there. So let me get two more scriptures, right? We're just going to get up out of here, okay? So let me get Psalm, right? Psalm the 36th chapter, all right? And we'll get the third verse. It says the words, and this is in the KJV first, right? It says the words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit, and he have left off to do to be wise and to do good. It says he deceiveth mischief upon his bed, and he setteth himself in a way that is not good, and he abhorreth not evil. All right. It says over in the AMP, right? It says the words of his mouth are wicked and deceitful, and he has ceased to be wise and to do good. his plans, he plans wrongdoing on his bed. He sets himself on a path that is not good, and he does not reject or despise evil. Right. So let's get it in the KJV. The NLT, Salakia. Right. Let's read it over in NLT. Okay. Let's read verse 3. It says, everything they say is crooked and deceitful. Right. And that's how they're going to get you to swindle you in. Swindle. Right. It says they refuse to act wisely or do good. They lie awake at night, hatching sinful plots. Their actions are never good, and they make no attempt to turn from evil. Right. So now let's go and get my last scripture. Right. Isaiah 10. Okay. Isaiah 10 and 1. Right. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. NLT. What sorrow awaits the unjust judges and those who issue unfair laws. All right. You see, there you have it. Okay. Let's get it in the AMP. Right. The AMP says, woe, judgment is coming to those judges who issue statutes, and to those who magistrates who constantly record unjust and offensive decisions. Right? And Salakia, oppressive decisions. Right? And this thing that's coming is going to be oppressive. Okay? What's coming is going to be very, very oppressive. All right? Oppression upon oppression. All right, brothers. So with that, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Marakah Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Ruel. Peace and blessings and citations to the hopeful elect, the Bayat Awadah, the house of David, Kwam Yasha Allah, Abba Ball. Repent ye, for the kingdom of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai is at hand. Shalom.